The grand ballroom shimmered under the glow of crystal chandeliers, their light casting a chilly, ethereal radiance over the assembled guests. Serena Sterling stood tall at the podium, her platinum blonde hair elegantly coiled in a flawless chignon, her grey-blue eyes sweeping across the crowd with the sharp precision of a strategist mapping out a battlefield. Effective immediately, she declared, her voice slicing through the hushed murmurs like a finely honed knife gliding through silk. Clinton, Dante, Dermot, Lissa, and Beatrix Sterling are hereby removed from the Sterling inheritance. A collective gasp rippled through the room, echoing off the marble floors and gilded walls. 5 pairs of eyes glared back at her from the front table's eyes filled with betrayal, seething rage, and the bitter sting of shattered entitlement. The air grew thick with unspoken accusations, but Serena remained unmoved, her expression a mask of unyielding resolve. Hours later, in the vast emptiness of the underground parking garage, rain pounded relentlessly against the concrete like a symphony of fury from the heavens. Serena paused in her stride, her high heels clicking to a halt on the slick surface. There, kneeling in the torrential downpour, was Henry Carter, his janitor's uniform drenched and clinging to his broad frame. His calloused hands, marked by years of honest toil, worked with desperate urgency to unclog a drainage grate. A flash of lightning illuminated his weathered face, rugged, determined, and etched with quiet strength. In that blinding instant, something deep within Serena's fortified heart cracked open, a fissure in the ice she had so carefully cultivated. Serena Sterling had forged her legend as the Ice Queen of Sterling Corporation through a lifetime of meticulous choices and deliberate emotional detachment. At 34, she ruled a billion-dollar empire with the same icy efficiency her father had instilled in her before his passing. Her tailored designer suits served as impenetrable armor, her expansive corner office a towering fortress, and her heart a sealed vault that no one had ever managed to unlock. The scars of her childhood ran deep. Relatives who had grinned warmly while siphoning funds from the family trust, aunts who drained charitable accounts under the guise of generosity, cousins who forged signatures for selfish gains. She had learned the hard way that affection was a vulnerability, that love was merely a tool for manipulation when money entered the equation. Blood ties meant nothing in the face of greed. That morning's decree was not born of cruelty, but of sheer necessity for survival. The audit reports strewn across her mahogany desk painted a damning portrait of the 5 as she had just disinherited. Clinton's elaborate embezzlement schemes, cleverly concealed within subsidiary ledgers. Dante's brutal intimidation tactics against board members who dared challenge him. Dermot's sly accounting maneuvers that siphoned maintenance funds until systems crumbled. Liss's calculated media spins that had nearly sparked a trio of costly lawsuits. Beatrix's clandestine dealings with rival companies, undermining the empire from within. They were leeches, draining the lifeblood of the company she had sworn to protect. In their stead, Serena envisioned the Sterling Social Impact Fund a beacon of transparency and genuine accountability, in stark contrast to the family's legacy of deceit. Henry Carter's life story was inscribed in the deep lines on his palms and the persistent twinge in his lower back from endless hours of labor. At 36, he carried a rugged attractiveness earned through sweat and perseverance, not polished gym routines. His shoulders were powerfully built from years of hands-on work, his face weathered yet infused with a gentle kindness. His brown eyes radiating a warmth that Serena's own gaze had long forgotten how to convey. Once, he had been a systems maintenance engineer with a bright future, a loving wife named Maria, and dreams of a large, joyful family. But fate, indifferent to human aspiration, had struck 3 years ago when cancer claimed Maria, leaving him with their 3-year-old daughter Lily and a mountain of medical debts that swallowed their savings whole. Henry had faced an agonizing choice. His engineering role demanded constant travel, grueling late nights, and unwavering availability luxuries he could no longer afford as a single parent. The night janitor position at Sterling Corporation provided the stability he craved. Reliable benefits, predictable shifts, and, most crucially, daylight hours to devote to Lily. Pride had taken a bruising blow, but his little girl gained a father who never missed a school event, who assisted with every homework puzzle, and who tucked her in with a story every single night without fail. Lily Carter, now 7, bubbled with an irrepressible optimism that could brighten the gloomiest of days and melt the hearts of strangers. Her brown curls danced playfully as she skipped along, her second-hand floral dresses always impeccably clean and ironed by her devoted father. To her, he was the ultimate hero, a superhero in a janitor's uniform. She remained blissfully unaware of why some children arrived in gleaming luxury cars while they rode the bus, or why their cozy apartment was modest compared to classmates' sprawling homes with swimming pools. What mattered to Lily was the unbreakable certainty of her daddy's presence, his enveloping hugs that mended any boo-boo, his solemn promises that he would always be there, and the bedtime tales that transported her to magical worlds. Exceptionally bright for her age, she read at a 4th grade level, tackled math problems that baffled her peers, and possessed an uncanny emotional insight that allowed her to pierce through grown-up facades with innocent clarity. Alexandra Hall, the chief operating officer of 3 years, had witnessed Serena's transformation of Sterling Corporation from a chaotic family fiefdom into a formidable industry leader. At 41, Alexandra had navigated enough corporate intrigue to spot true authenticity amid the deception. She admired Serena's bold vision, though she quietly worried that the relentless Ice Queen persona might one day encase Serena's spirit in permanent frost. George Ellis, the 55-year-old chief financial officer, had served the Sterling family for 3 decades. He had endured the near collapse under the prior generation's avarice and had rejoiced silently when Serena seized the reins. These 2 loyal allies would soon play pivotal roles in unraveling the impending tempest, never imagining that the spark would ignite from a humble janitor braving the storm. The gala concluded with reporters scrambling to craft headlines that would blaze across tomorrow's business pages. Sterling heiress severs family ties. Yet the true drama was only unfolding. In a dimly lit private dining room 3 blocks away, the 5 ousted heirs gathered round a polished table, their champagne flutes untouched, their expressions twisted into masks of suppressed fury. Clinton Sterling, 42 and silver-tongued, had already surrendered his corporate perks credit cards, prime parking, the trappings of power. His 5-year embezzlement web had unraveled in an instant. Dante, 38 and built like a formidable athlete, gripped his fists tightly, knuckles white from a history of violent resolutions. Dermot, 45, lean and scheming, saw his kickback network vanish with a single stroke of Serena's pen. Lissa, 39, whose beauty was enhanced by surgical precision but hollowed by a lack of genuine depth, found her media influence severed. Beatrix, the youngest at 35, watched her ambitious climb to the CEO throne crumble to dust. "She believes she can simply erase us from existence," Clinton hissed, his words dripping with venomous silk. "5 lifetimes of dedication to this empire, and she casts us aside like disposable underlings." The conspiracy crystallized swiftly, each contributor lending their unique venom. A meticulously orchestrated assault not in the boardroom where Serena dominated, but through insidious sabotage and scandal to compel her ouster. Infrastructure failure to expose her supposed incompetence. A tarnished reputation, exploiting her notorious distrust. They would dangle trust before her, then shatter it alongside the bait. That very night, as rain cascaded in sheets, the parking gouge flooded not by nature's whim, but through Dermot's deliberate tampering of drainage systems, a remnant of his budget skimming error. Henry arrived for his shift to discover 3 inches of waterlapping at the executive level, inching perilously toward critical electrical panels powering security servers. Without a second's hesitation, he plunged in, tools in hand. The grate was jammed with unnatural debris, industrial refuse mingled with intentional obstructions. Kneeling in the icy deluge, rain sluicing through open vents, Henry's skilled hands moved with rhythmic precision, clearing the blockage, tracing the flood's origin, averting a blackout that could cripple the building. Serena, poring over quarterly reports in her penthouse office atop the tower, was jolted by the emergency alert. Water intrusion, electrical risk, maintenance engaged. She could have retreated to her luxury apartment, delegating the mess. Yet an inexplicable pull drew her to the executive elevator. Irony whispered that on the day she purged her house of toxins, it was literally overflowing. The elevator doors parted to pandemonium, security personnel sloshing in wind shoes to relocate luxury vehicles, emergency beacons bathing the scene in stark amber. Amid the chaos stood one solitary figure truly resolving the crisis. Henry Carter evoked images of a bygone-era laborer who mended worlds with his hands, not endless meetings. His sodden uniform outlined his muscular build, water cascading from his dark hair, his brow furrowed in intense focus. Serena watched, transfixed from the shadows. Then a spark erupted from an electrical panel. Henry reacted with lightning speed, shoving a guard clear of the pooling water just as a deadly arc crackled through the air. The guard tumbled to safety on dry pavement. Henry absorbed a jolting secondary shock through his saturated attire. He grunted in pain, shook it off like a minor inconvenience, and resumed his task as if heroism was woven into his daily routine. Serena felt a surge she hadn't known in ages. Not mere attraction, though Henry's raw vitality was undeniably magnetic. Not simple gratitude, despite averting catastrophe and potential tragedy. It was profound recognition. In her realm of calculated risks and fragile alliances, here was a man who acted rightly purely because it demanded action, no acclaim, no ulterior motive. Henry was authentically, perilously genuine. The flood waters ebbed, normalcy restored. Henry packed his tools, briefed his supervisor, and pressed on with his shift, oblivious to the CEO's vigilant gaze or the vengeful heirs plotting to weaponize him in their vendetta. His thoughts drifted only to the promise of Saturday with Lilia Park outing if the skies cleared. Back in her office, the figures on Serena's monitor blurred into insignificance. She accessed the employee portal. Henry Carter, prior role systems maintenance engineer with 12 years expertise, current night janitor, annual salary $32,000. Cross-referencing revealed stellar past reviews innovations and wavering reliability. Why the demotion? The emergency contact held the key. Lily Carter, daughter, age 7. 3 years prior aligned perfectly with his shift. A devastating loss had compelled Henry to prioritize fatherhood over ambition. Monday unleashed the heir's opening barrage. Clinton leaked curated financials to the press, sketching a CEO spiraling out of control. Insiders voice alarm over Serena Sterling's unstable choices. Dante orchestrated minor yet glaring security lapses. Dermot's subtle sabotage triggered cascading breakdowns. Lissa sowed seeds of psychological doubt via influences. The strain of familial warfare atop a billion-dollar throne may be unraveling her. Beatrix courted competitors, hinting at acquisition opportunities. The board convened in crisis mode, but the heir's masterstroke was cunningly personal. Leveraging Dermot's access and Clinton's protocols, they fabricated evidence implicating Henry in the flood, doctored footage placing him at the drains pre-shift, falsified work orders, anomalous deposits into his account. Investigators summoned inevitably by Serena would trace guilt straight to him. She would either dismiss an innocent, affirming her heartlessness, or shield him, appearing fatally compromised. Tuesday's boardroom showdown was a gauntlet. 12 directors, bombarded by media, rivals, and furious shareholders, confronted her. Stock plummeted 8% in 48 hours. Maintenance woes inflated liabilities, insurers threatening hikes. Worst, Her unilateral disinheritance signaled dangerous autonomy. Serena countered with irrefutable data. Yet skepticism lingered. George unveiled the Gage probe. Footage, time cards, finances all damning Henry. Suspension pending inquiry passed unanimously. Serena's inner voice screamed compliance, but defiance surged. No, she stated firmly, astonishing even herself. I witnessed it. Henry averted disaster. He did not orchestrate it. Protocol insists on suspension, the chairman intoned. Serena's resolve hardened, a choice her former self would deem reckless. Then I reassign him to my direct oversight as technical consultant during the probe. Personal supervision. The room exploded in protest optics disastrous. A CEO safeguarding a custodian. Yet Serena stood resolute, unable to articulate the instinct driving her. Henry received the suspension notice that evening, his mind racing to Lily. Insurance, programs, stability shattered. Duration, he asked stoically. A knock interrupted Serena in the grimy maintenance office, an ethereal mismatch. Mr. Carter, temporary reassignment to executive technical advisory. Identical hours and compensation, alternate responsibilities. Report to the 40th floor tomorrow evening. Her tone softened fractionally. I saw Saturday. I know the truth. This inquiry will vindicate you. But meantime, your skills are vital for infrastructure review, a corporate lifeline laced with rare trust. Henry nodded. Yes, ma'am. Alone afterward, temptation whispered escape. But fleeing would crown the frame as victorious and model cowardice for Lily. He would accept not from faith in Serena, but in his own integrity. Wednesday amplified the assault. Lissa fueled tabloids. CEO's late-night janitor rendezvous sparks speculation. Innuendo veil as inquiry. Henry's 40th floor rival felt invasive amid opulence. Alexandra greeted him. Audit maintenance logs for anomalies explaining breakdowns. Her gaze pierced. She's wagering heavily on you. Validate it. Henry immersed in data. His dormant engineering acumen reigniting. Patterns crystallized. Denied budgets. Cancelled orders. Deferred upgrades all under Dermot's purview. Approved expenditures revealed fraud. Mismatched parts. Phantom contractors. Inflated invoices. By dawn, a dossier exposed 5 years of systemic theft. Serena entered quietly. Jacket discarded. Vulnerability evident in fatigue shadow dyes. Discoveries, deliberate sabotage. Henry replied directly. Subpar installations, profits pocketed. He demonstrated a fraudulent valve. Serena leaned in, her center intoxicating blend of luxury and caffeine. Proof solidified. Thursday, George traced Henry's deposits. Executive terminal timestamps during Henry's third-floor mobbing. Alexandra's IT dive uncovered edited footage splicing artifacts. Innocence affirmed, but perpetrators elusive. Serena decreed boldly, Lotham. Sunday's resignation board empty building. Minimal staff. They'll strike then. Risky. Yet Henry's example taught her. Solutions demanded immersion. Friday, preparations. Henry fortified vulnerabilities with trusted crews. Serena, Alexandra, George rigged unbreachable surveillance. Secrecy absolute. Evening, Lily in the lobby with a neighbor emergency babysitting. She hugged Henry fiercely. This place is enormous. Serena descended, witnessing the tender union. Lily beamed up. Are you Daddy's boss? You're beautiful and clever. He says. Henry's embarrassment fled, but Lily extended a polite hand. Pleased to meet you, Miss Sterling. Thanks for a kindness to my daddy. Serena's heart clenched at the child's unfiltered sincerity. No agenda, just pure upbringing. Your father is aiding a critical fix. He's exceptional at it. Saturday, park promises fulfilled. Henry pushed Lily on swings, her laughter a bomb, though his thoughts lingered on the trap. Serena, in her penthouse, scrutinized evidence, grappling with newfound trust in Henry. Allies, instincts. Sunday dawned ominous. Serena arrived pre-dawn. Henry, having entrusted Lily to her grandmother, joined. They calibrated in companionable quiet. Alexandra and George positioned. Radios linked. Airs infiltrated. Dermot via maintenance. Clinton gauge. Others stealthily. Ambition exceeded forecasts. Dante targeted electrics for server annihilation. Clinton uploaded corrupting virus from Serena's apparent terminal. Lissa planted embezzlement forgeries in her office. Beatrix bugged the boardroom. Dermot primed a Fox electrical bomb. Henry identified it instantly. Evacuate. Radio urgency. Serena, not yet full commitment. Recordings captured all. Police alerted on standby. Henry neutralized the device subtly and led mimic. Dermot's activation triggered confusion. Flight ensued. Henry pursued, tackled, disarmed a knife-wielding Dermot with pragmatic skill. Security swarmed. Others fell. Clinton locked out mid-delete. Dante fell by Alexandra's athletic takedown. Lisa amid scattered papers. Beatrix betrayed by her gadgets. By afternoon, custody secured. Conspiracy. Property endangerment. Fraud. Assault. Monday's board. Evidence presented comprehensively sabotage plus historical theft. Unanimous. Prosecute. Permanent banishment. Fund approval. Serena lauded. Chairman. Gratitude to Mr. Carter, his valor averted ruin. Tuesday. Henry exonerated. Offered roles. Flexibility for Lily. He prioritized. Serena, senior consulting engineer self-scheduled. 65,000. Full benefits. Lily's scholarship. Why me? You prioritize excellence over ego. And you've reminded me value often hides in plain sight. Handshake lingered, charged. Thank you. His smile genuine. My pleasure. Miss Sterling. More unspoken. Wednesday cafeteria. Unconventional trio. Lily coloring. Insisting Serena sample pudding. Simplicity enchanted Serena the laughter. Normalcy. Lily, are you lonely? Honest admission. Sometimes you and Daddy could share not be alone. Blushes. But Serena, your insight is a gift. Departure. Lily linked hands, chattering of her play. Invitation extended. Serena accepted. Thursday rain. Serena observed Henry's routine diligence from afar. Anonymous improvement suggestions for his uncredited care. Inspired a recognition program for unsung contributors. Gauge encounter. Thanks evolved to vulnerability. You showed me integrity in obscurity. Henry, you chose hard right over easy. Proximity sparked. He talked her hair. Not the Ice Queen. Laughter. Nor mere janitor. Play invitation reaffirmed. Friday. Early departure. Auditorium nerves dissolved beside Henry. Lily's admirably imperfect tree waving. Scratching. Joyful line. Trees endure every storm. Eyes on them. Post-play. Group hug amid whispers. Ice cream outing truck ride cozy. Shop quaint. Flavors shared. Stories flowed. Books. Dreams. Losses without regret. Serena opened. Isolation's toll. Inherited burdens. Henry, let yourself. Laughter rediscovered. Lily asleep. Henry, uncomplicated. Serena, teach me. I'll complicate less. Middle ground. Saturday park. Incognito joy. Lily, Miss Serena. Hand-holding bench. Board opinions. Fading. See where it leads. Okay. 3 months. Profit soared. Fund thrived. Unreported. Cafeteria Wednesdays. Henry's floor office underused for field work. Lily's conference homework sessions. Dinners, zoo adventures, Serena's renewed mirth. Rain persisted, but warmed. Mutual waves from garage to window. Ice Queen evolved warm fortified strength. Henry unchanged, valued utterly. Stormy Thursday, seamless backups. Cafeteria, Haven Lily's drawing. Trio under rainbow. Us post-rain. Serena gazed at the unexpected life. Henry's tender smile. Storm outside. Inside. Love's gentle bloomer merger of hearts. Unplanned yet perfect.